Hello, Monday fun day. What's up, everyone? Thank you so much for tuning in. If you would please do me a huge favor, a blessing. Please bless me by sharing this video. Hold on. Let me fix my audio. I sound distant, don't I? Distant. Hold on. All right. That should sound a lot better. Right? Right? What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in. This Monday fun day. Monday fun day. Look, if my audio issue that I just had is the worst thing that happens today, then we're golden. We're golden. But anyways, hey, thank you so much, everyone. Please share the video. Please bless me by sharing the video. I would greatly appreciate it. We're going to talk about another week for the shutdown. And this is backfiring on the Demoncrats once again. I'm so happy we got Trump in office. I really am. Every single day I look at this and I see such a positive thing with President Trump being in office. It's more and more positive every single day. Every day I look at it. And you know how you can tell it's more positive every day? Because every single day these Demoncrats cry about the positive things that President Trump is doing. That means it's a positive thing for the entire country. It really is. It's a positive thing for the entire country. And with that, what else do we need to know? What else do we need to know? It's all positive because President Trump is doing what he needs to do. And of course, because President Trump is doing what he needs to do, the Demoncrats, they're losing their everlasting minds. Okay. For those of you that follow me on Facebook and, and other platforms, here lately I've been putting out these little shorts. I've been putting shorts on YouTube. I've been putting them on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, on TikTok, on Getter, on True Social, on X. I've just been putting these little shorts out there, just little shorts. And of course, in our world today, everything is really short. People just like the very, very short videos. Like, just give it to me really quick so I can move on. Right? This is what we're seeing. Well, anyways, I put these little shorts out there and I have to talk about one little topic. And one topic I talked about, and my last one was about President Trump and when it comes to ICE and what President Trump is doing in the country, how he's fighting for the American people. And I said, I want President Trump to do more. I want President Trump to do more. I really do. And because I want President Trump to do more, of course, the Demoncrats, they come out of the woodworks. Why is it a problem for me being an individual? Why is it a problem that I support Trump? Why is it a problem? See, I didn't say anything about these people supporting Joe Biden and the other Demoncrats. Okay, that's who you want to support? Fine. Fine, I have no problem with it. I have no problem with it. But why do they have such a huge problem? I took a screenshot of one, and this actually was on Facebook. I took this screenshot of someone leaving me a comment, and I'm not going to put this screenshot on Facebook. Now, they made the comment on Facebook. It goes, it's perfectly fine if they make the comment against me, towards me, about me. It's perfectly fine. I even say it's fine, right? Like, I just let it go. But if I were to take the snapshot of the picture of the comment of the person said to me, about me, towards me, and if I put that on there, they would penalize me. So this is a really short 2-word comment that someone left me. I'm not going to say it out in its full entirety, but I'm going to say it this way. This person, and I don't know if it's where this person is from or whatever, but this person says house N-word. That's all they said. House N-word. That's all they said. Okay, that's all they said. House N-word. So my response to this person, I says, what? No AC in the field? See, I don't care. And see, some people hear me saying that, oh my goodness, Will Johnson's admitted to being a house N-word. I know who I am. And I know that these people will say despicable, hateful things, trying to get under my skin, trying to make me angry, and even trying to harm me. Right? They'll say stuff out loud, trying to harm me. But it doesn't work. I don't allow them to get to me. The very fact that they're so triggered by me wearing a MAGA hat, the very fact that they're so triggered by me speaking my mind and supporting Trump and loving America, the very fact that they're triggered by that says it all. I could care less, again, how they feel about something. Now, I want to talk about this shutdown. This shutdown is the work of the Demoncrats. This is the Demoncrat Shutdown. I don't care how much they try to spin it. I don't care how much they try to say, no, this is not the Democrats shutdown. It is 100% the Democrat shutdown. And the reason being is because the Democrats did this. Now, I was seeing if there was something on. Okay, no. This is their shutdown. You have all of the Republicans minus one that I understand, Rand Paul. And again, I don't know what's going on with Rand Paul. I don't know. I mean, the very fact that he didn't even vote at all, he's the Lone Ranger. He's going to be the one out there saying, I'm telling everybody we don't need to vote for this. But anyways, then you have all of the Democrats minus one last week, John Fetterman. And now there's two more that have joined John Fetterman and siding with the Republicans and trying to open the government back up. Now, the only reason why these other two Republicans have joined in with John Fetterman to try to keep the government open because they've handed it all to President Trump. See, they shut the government down, but we still have a president. Just because they shut the government down doesn't mean we don't have a president. And because we still have a president, it means President Trump still has a job to do. He still has the job that we voted for him to do. Yeah, I voted for this. So President Trump, being the executive branch, the put it this way, the legislative branch, they're out right now. They're shut down. The legislative branch is shut down. Now they're still getting paid, regardless of what some people believe. Did y'all know that? So they can shut down the government indefinitely and they will always get paid. They will get paid no matter what. So here, President Trump, being an executive branch, he gets to look at the government like a business. I talked about this last week. He gets to look at the government like a business, and he gets to say, cut that, cut that, cut that. And all of the cuts that President Trump gets to do, they can't undo them. So President Trump go in and he'd lay off a whole bunch of people. And when the Democrats finally agree to opening the government back up, they can't reverse anything that President Trump has done during this time period. It's almost like they just, see, Democrats, they don't think. Democrats don't ever put two and two together. They don't think, well, if we do this, what will happen? If we do that, what will happen? Their whole objective, they're so mad, all they can think about is stopping Trump. That's all they can think about. What can we do to stop Trump? Doesn't matter. Stop Trump. This is their shutdown. I completely agree, Mark. Mark says shut their money down. Well, actually, some of their money did get shut down. USAID, money going, and also here recently, money going to NPR, going to PBS, Public Access Radio. They've shut down a lot of this. They've shut down a lot of their funding that's been going to these corporations, or not necessarily corporations, going to these entities, and then they would funnel the money back to the DNC. Yeah, shut it down. And because when President Trump's team, when Elon Musk was there with Doge, when President Trump was getting ready to shut down USAID, close the doors, at first I didn't understand why the Democrats would go out of their way, standing in front of the building, doing a press conference, trying to force their way into the USAID building. At first I didn't understand why they would do this. I'm like, what is this all about? Well, the only reason why the Democrats cared about anyone in USAID or cared about the whole thing in the first place, because it came out, allegedly, you got to say allegedly, that the money that was going into USAID, government funds, and then they were rerouting those funds, not all of them, but a great deal to the DNC. This is how they were able to do their campaigns. This is how they were able to do some of the agenda that they were doing, because they were taking money from you and I and giving it to the Demoncrats. I don't want a single penny of my tax dollars going to anything, nothing. Do I not get to say so in it? I mean, what is this? They just take money from all of us and just give it to the Democrats? No, I don't want a single penny going to them. Nothing. I don't want anything going to these Democrats. Well, of course, over the weekend, the Democrats trying to push it that it's the Republicans, and they're still trying to do it, trying to say it's the Republicans that did the shutdown. It's Monday. Are they going to open it back up? It's Monday. And Mike Johnson's constantly said that he's waiting on Chuck Schumer. Now, all of this, I'm looking at this, and I've learned so much about this. And see, I'll be the first one to admit that I don't know everything about politics and religion. I don't know. I'm learning as we go along. But I share a lot of the things that I find out. And we're all the same way. Now, there's some people that already know everything. There's some people you can't even talk to because they know it all. I'm not one of those. I like to have conversation, and I like to continuously learn. Well, I want y'all to listen to this. This was on Face the Nation. And of course, they're totally left-leaning. They're siding with the Democrats because they want health care for illegals. And they want all of the things that President Trump's administration has reversed. This is what the Democrats want. They want President Trump, everything, all of his successes. They want them to do away with it and put everything back the way it was with Joe Biden. That's what they're wanting. And they're going to stand strong until they get what they want. They're holding this country hostage. Now listen to this on Face the Nation.
You mentioned the real world impact. Federal workers, including our military, would miss their first paychecks October 15th or 16th. How long should workers plan to be without that income?
Well, the only person who can answer that question is your next guest, and that's Chuck Schumer, because the House did its job. The reason that House Republicans are home working in their districts, and I suspect House Democrats should be as well, is because we did that. We passed a bipartisan, very clean, continuing resolution a couple of weeks back now and sent it to the Senate. It's very important to note what was in that. It was only 24 pages in length, Margaret. It was a good faith effort to keep the government open for 7 more weeks so that Republicans and Democrats in a bipartisan fashion could work together to fund the government with the appropriations process. Chuck Schumer always voted for those in the past. In fact, he did it 13 times during the 4 years of the Biden administration. But now suddenly he's commanding his Democrats in the Senate not to do it, and there's one simple reason why. They need political cover from the far left corner of the base. He's afraid, Chuck Schumer individually, ask him about it, he's afraid he's going to get a challenge from the Marxist left in his party because that's the new wave in New York. That's what this is about. Chuck Schumer is trying to show a fight against the president and Republicans, and real Americans are being harmed in the process of this political.
You mentioned.
That's exactly what is happening here. And see, last week, I didn't even know until Mike Johnson brought it up that they voted for this same bill 13 times. 13 times. And the Democrats came and they all argued, oh, you got to push it through. You got to push it through. It's a CR. It's the CR. You got to push it through. We got to make sure we pay our bills. We got to push it through. And back then, we were all saying, shut it down. We wanted to, and see, here's something. I just told y'all that I don't ever claim to know everything. And the last time when Joe Biden was in the White House and they got to a point where it looked like the government was going to shut down, and those of us on the right, we were saying, shut it down. We wanted the Republicans to shut it down. Well, this is something that I learned. I'm glad the Republicans did not shut it down during that time. Because if they would have shut it down, the auto pen would have been going through and removing every single conservative program, every single thing that benefits the American people. They would have given that authority to the auto pen. It wouldn't have been Joe Biden. He didn't even have a clue where he was. He still don't have a clue. So the auto pen would have been removing conservatives, Republicans, Christians. They would have done more damage. So I have to take back what I said during that time, that I was a little upset that the Republicans did not shut it down. I was a little upset. But now I understand. And see, all of them on Capitol Hill right now, the Demoncrats, they're all saying, look, we got to get this back open. Because if President Trump start laying these jobs and laying these people off, we can't reverse it. So I'm hoping that the Demoncrats have not learned their lesson. I'm hoping that they will continue. I'm hoping that they will continue down this path to continue pushing that the federal government needs to stay closed until President Trump and the Republicans meet their demands. That's what this is about, right? The Democrats are telling the Republicans, you need to give us our demands or we're going to hold the country hostage. Now, they're not going to say this out in the public. They're not going to say this out on the television. But this is exactly what they're doing, especially because this is the same CR that they passed 13 times. Chuck Schumer was happy to do it 13 times. Now, all of a sudden, he's not wanting to do it. Okay. So here lately, I've been really trying to work out, trying to get in shape, try to keep my mind, body, and spirit all in order, right? So while I'm working out, I'm at the gym, and I've talked to this young man. And he was telling me that he does day trading. That's his job. He'll work out at the gym early in the morning. Then he goes and he'll sit and he'll work the stock exchange. That's what he does. I'm like, I find it very fascinating. That's all he does. And he's just looking at it, reading the numbers, reading the data. I need to ask him, does he ever pay attention to Nancy Pelosi? I think I'm going to do that next time I see him. But he was telling me since the shutdown has taken place, the stock market has been going through the roof. He said it's like the most beautiful thing ever. He said the stock market is making record highs with the government shutdown. With the government shutdown, the stock market has been going through the roof. And I'm like thinking to myself, let's keep it shut down. Let's have the smallest government in American history and keep it shut down. Right? Now, of course, we need to make sure that our military personnel is being taken care of. And I don't think any Republicans have anything against that. Now, if it was up to the Democrats, we wouldn't have a military. Any other communist nation could just come in here and just take us over. They would be perfectly fine with that because they're communists themselves. But with the stock market going through the roof, I like it. I mean, everyone's portfolio. This is for every single day that these Democrats have the government shut down is actually benefiting the American people. So I guess in the instance, we have to thank Chuck Schumer and the Democrats for doing it. But for some reason, they want to blame the Republicans. They want to blame the Republicans when they're the ones actually doing it. See, President Trump, he knew that they were going to do this. He had to have known. He knew that they were going to do this. And as soon as they did this, they were going to hand him the keys. Do it, do your will. Go ahead. They kept calling President Trump a dictator. So now he gets to go in and just eliminate any government job he so pleased. And there's nothing they can do to stop him. Well, I want you to listen to another one with Mike Johnson. of course, another clip here on Face the Nation.
They want to spend $1.5 trillion, and they want to return hard-working taxpayer dollars to fund health care for illegal aliens. Yeah. It is in their bill. Go to speaker.gov and see it for yourself. Page 57, section 2141. They're using this for political games, and it is shameful, and real people are getting hurt.
Well, I have looked at that text. It doesn't explicitly say what you are indicating.
Hold on. He's getting ready to shut up, too. Okay, he's getting ready to shut her down. This is how you know that all of these so-called news organizations, just talk shows basically, and have guests on. Listen to her. She's defending the Demoncrats. All of them defend the Demoncrats. Every last one of them defends the Demoncrats. She knows good and well that the Democrats under Joe Biden, when we were all talking about it, that all of these illegals were getting health care, none of them were complaining about it. None of them had any argument about it. They were perfectly fine with it. Well, what happened, and he's getting ready to lay it out, the Republicans said no more. See, the Democrats found a loophole. The Democrats found that all you have to do is tell illegals to show up to an emergency room, even if you have a little cut. Just a little cut. You have a common cold. No matter what it is. You need some Tylenol. Go to the emergency room. Go to the emergency room and they'll take care of you. They will not turn you away. They found a loophole. The Republicans said no more. Close the loophole. And now they're upset. And I'm going to go on a limb here and say that the reason why the Democrats are upset about this, because the money that they were sending to these hospitals were above and beyond anything that they should have been sending. And if you ask me, without me seeing the information, this is just me with my opinion, okay? Let me make sure I'm full transparency. My opinion, they were taking money, giving it to these hospitals, and these hospitals were then turning around, making donations to the DNC and to the Democrats. Now, that's the only reason why the Democrats would even care, because Democrats don't care about people. They really don't. That's the only, if there's no money involved, nothing in it for them, they don't care about it. They don't care at all.
Say what you are indicating, but unauthorized immigrants aren't eligible for ACA
yes,
benefits.
It does. It says very simply they want to repeal the changes that we made in the working families tax cut, the one big beautiful bill. And what those changes were is it removed health care going to illegal aliens. It removed all the fraud, waste, and abuse. And the Congressional Budget Office, CBO, said it achieved the desired result. They project it'll save almost $200 billion. Chuck Schumer's proposal on page 57 wants to return that $200 billion of taxpayer funds to pay for illegal aliens and other non-citizens. That is a fact. And you can check it out on my website, speaker.gov. Don't trust me. Look at Chuck Schumer's own paperwork.
He shut her down. Shut her down. How come they can't go, Speaker Johnson, can you tell us what it is on page 52? Can you tell us what it is? See, they don't do that. And you know the reason why they don't do that? Because he's already done it. He sat on the Capitol Hill and he had two big billboards, one on each side, and he printed out exactly what the Democrats were asking for. There's been not a single Democrat to come out and say that information is not true. Now, they'll come out and say that they're lying, but they're not saying, they say nothing about that information. What the Democrats want put back in place. They're deflecting from it. They don't want to bring any attention to it. Mike Johnson just laid it out there. And of course, the Democrats, their objective now is to get people to ignore it, to get people to not know the truth. But it's like that with everything. It's like that with everything. Listen to Jayapal. I want y'all to listen to what Jayapal has to say. And just like any other time, when the Democrats don't have anything, they don't have no foundation, they can't bring the facts on anything, what do? They revert back to the same talking points. And in this case, Jayapal, she's bringing up Project 2025. Project 2025. It's about to be 2026. If they were going to do it, if they were going to implement Project 2025, it would have started January 20th. You understand? It would have started January 20th. But there is no Project 2025. President Trump said he had nothing to do with it. Even the Heritage Foundation, who came up with the Project 2025, they squashed the whole thing. But the Demoncrats are counting on people not even knowing this information. They're counting on people not even paying attention to the facts. So listen to Jay Paul. She's another one. I don't think that the Demoncrats go a single day without lying because they have an agenda. Make Trump look bad.
Beyond. Russ vote talked about is overtaking the government and using it for partisan political purposes against our current laws and against the Constitution.
Okay, wait a minute. So she's saying that President Trump is taking over the government. President Trump is taking over the government. Who gave him the keys? The Demoncrats. Here you go. Do what you want to do. Do what you want to do.
That's what's been happening as they slash federal agencies, as they fire workers. You know, they've already fired 150,000 federal workers.
Okay. Can we do another 150,000? You know what? How about 1 million? How about President Trump fire 1 million federal workers that sit on their butt all day long and watch The View? Is there anyone watching right now in disagreement? They sit all on their butt all day long and watch The View. Fire them all. Right?
At least, probably more than that. So they're using the shutdown and they're continuing to implement Project 2025. And we just have to keep looking up. This was Donald Trump's plan all along, not to lower costs and make healthcare affordable for you, but to actually take over the government and become king.
Let's go. Let's go. President Trump, look, President Trump's been playing 40 chess with these people that's playing paper checkers. I mean, really, they're playing checkers. And I mean, come on. This is Donald Trump. She won't even call him President Trump. This is Donald Trump's plan all along. Let me let you in on a secret. You handed it to him. And the rest of us that love this country and love freedom, we don't have any issues with this. I really don't. And then, of course, they're calling President Trump a king. Hey, did you hear? Did you hear? Listen right here.
Affordable for you, but to actually take over the government and become king.
And take over the government, become king. Oh, my goodness. I like it. You know what it makes me think about? This coming on the 18th, and I just want to share it with y'all really quick. On the 18th, there is a No Kings event that's coming up, and I have on my website, for those of you that are interested, on my website here, I got a Jesus is King t-shirt. And I'm so like, you know, there's some t-shirts that they do that are pretty elaborate. They go, you know, pretty elaborate, and you know, they're not bad. I'm not knocking them at all, but I've always liked it. I've always liked it when it was, you know, I like it to be simple. And for me, simplicity is key. And let me make it big here, not too big. Jesus is king. And in the fine print there, it says, and Trump is our president. Our president. Jesus is king. So anyways, I've been telling people that I was going to make one of these and have it on my website. And here I put one on my website, and I'm happy to have it on there. I ordered mine last week. And because it takes some time, because I don't have them boxed up and sent here to my studio. I have them, it's made to order, right? It's made to order. So that way I don't have to have them sitting anywhere. So it's made to order. So when people want one, they just go to my website, uniteamericafirst.com, and then they just purchase one. But you heard her right there, right? I'm going to play it in the background. Let's listen to her.
Take over the government and become king.
And become king. And of course, it would not surprise me that she's not behind this whole No Kings event that's coming up on the 18th of this month. So I went to the last one, and I'm so looking forward to going to the next one. And I'm going to wear my new shirt, Jesus is King. And one of the reasons why I created, because Jesus is King, but the other reason why I created, because the last time I went to a No Kings event that the Democrats were having, they were saying, I said, Jesus is King, and all of them said, no. I mean, it was just like demons. You could hear the demons, no. They were all, I mean, it was pretty bizarre. I never thought I would see anything like it. They were like, no, straight up demonic. You can hear it. So when I go out there this next time, I'm going to have on my t-shirt, Jesus is King. And I know they're going to get triggered just by seeing it. And before, you know what? I used to, when I would go out, I used to not wear my shirt where they can read it just so they'll talk to me, right? Just so I can have a conversation with them and just pull it out. But then after a while, people starting to recognize me and they don't do it. So now I just show it with my shirt on. And let's just get right into it. Let's get right into it. Right? Because now I can't go anywhere because these liberals, they follow me around and they try to shut me down because they don't like free speech. They don't like it when people are heard. So they have this whole agenda trying to shut free speech down, trying to shut down anyone that doesn't think like them and speak like them. I mean, they really do. They really do. That's their whole point in all of this. They want to shut down free speech. But this is not anything that you don't know already. So who's the shutdown actually belong to? And last week I talked about the math. If you look at the math, all of the Republicans minus one voted to keep the government open. All of the Democrats minus one voted to keep the government open. Except for two of them, to my understanding, or one of them was an independent, which has been caucusing with the Demoncrat. So it's basically a Demoncrat, just calling himself an independent, just wanting people to believe that he's not a Demoncrat. You know how that works, right? Lukewarm, neither cold or hot. Well, now the Democrats, again, trying to say that this shutdown belongs to the Republicans when it's 100% belonging to them. See, Democrats, you can't expect them to know how to do math. And the very fact that they're willing to hold the country hostage says a lot. They're the ones that's doing it. They could just say, okay, let's open it up, but they're not doing that. They have demands. And when you take a country hostage, they typically do it with demands. Well, I said this last week, the United States of America, we do not negotiate with terrorists. So we should not give in to the demands of these terrorists. It is what it is.
It's day 3 of the Trump Republican government shutdown and day 257.
Now, listen to this. Listen to what he says here. This dude, total nut job. President Trump has destroyed the country. No, he's done more. There's not a single thing that the Democrats have done that anyone can turn around and say, oh, well, at least they've done this. Nothing.
Of the chaos that Donald Trump has been inflicting on the American people since the very beginning of his presidency. We're in the midst of a government shutdown that has been caused by Donald Trump and Republicans to inflict further pain on the American people.
There's further pain on the Democrats. This is so beautiful. I mean, it really is. This grown man behind this podium crying like a little sissy girl, crying because President Trump closed the borders. Explain to me how that's a bad thing. President Trump stopped the trafficking of children. Tell me how that's a bad thing. President Trump have stopped the drugs from coming into the country. Have y'all seen those boats coming across the water? He's doing all of this. Tell me how that is bad. President Trump is rounding up people that have harmed women, children in the country that are here illegally. Tell me how that's bad. This dude that's literally sitting here and said that President Trump has done so much damage. Listen to him. Everything President Trump has done has been positive for this country, and he's complaining about it. You can't make it up.
And Republicans to inflict further pain on the American people. The government is shut down right now because Donald Trump and Republicans refuse to provide health care to working class Americans.
Oh my goodness. No, it's not. He's talking about illegals. Working class illegals. I mean, I wish you'd be honest for a change. See, they have slave labor, and their slaves today are the illegals that they brought into the country. And they're trying to keep their slave labor. They're going to make it more difficult because they made a promise to these people coming across the border that you're going to get free health care. Socialism does not work. This is the Socialist Demoncrat Party of America.
Throughout this week, Donald Trump has been missing in action. He remains in the Presidential Witness Protection Program.
Wow. Did y'all know President Trump was in the Witness Protection Program? Now, hold up. Wait a minute. Let's put some truth in it. So you mean to tell me President Trump is held up in the Witness Protection Program? The only time someone needs to go into the Witness Protection Program is when they have to be protected from hardcore criminals, terrorists. Someone who's innocent. Look, now every now and then they'll take some criminals and they'll put them in the witness program because the criminals end up working with the feds. They end up working for the betterment of the country. They do the right thing. And because of these other killers and these other terrorists and these other criminals and these other thugs find out that you're doing something that we don't like, they want to take you out. So then they put you in the witness program. That's the only reason why they do it. And he just sat there and said it. I don't think these Democrats ever realize what they're saying. The only time you're going to go into witness program, y'all help me out. Am I wrong? Now, it's not like these demonic Democrats have not tried to end President Trump's life. So maybe he has a point there. It kind of almost sounds like he's putting another threat out there to President Trump. Let me take it back. Listen to him. Because I'm telling you right now, they're so mad. They're piping mad. It would not surprise me if they're going to try to attempt to take his life again. It would not surprise me.
Throughout this week, Donald Trump has been missing in action. He remains in the Presidential Witness Protection Program.
Oh my goodness. Sounds like a threat. I mean, he doesn't want President Trump to be protected.
House Republicans are on vacation.
Because you shut the government down. There's no need for them to be there if you're not going to do your job.
All across the country and the world, and Senate Republicans continue to vote on the same partisan Republican spending bill.
Wait a minute, this is the same CR that you and the other Democrats voted for 13 times. 13 times. This is what you call full-on hypocrite.
That's dead on arrival because it guts the health care of the American people. Donald Trump and the Republicans are not behaving responsibly. They're not behaving in a serious manner.
This dude's literally crying. He's not behaving right. He's not behaving the way we want him to. When? I mean, really? This dude is straight up crying. This is a grown man crying behind this podium. He's not behaving. Oh, behave.
They don't want to reopen the government.
Really? They voted to reopen it. They actually did. See, this is so mind-blowing to me. They actually did vote to open it up. They said, okay, let's open it up. Here it is. Let's go. Let's go. It's the Demoncrats that said no. Look, I don't know how else to explain it. Let's say we walk up to a door, and you and I, we want to walk through the door. We do want to walk through the door, you know, both of us, right? And I open the door, and I said, go ahead. And what you do, you close the door. But then you turn around and say that I won't allow us to go in the door. That's like the simplest analogy for this entire insanity. It really is. Both of us walk up to a door. I open the door. In this case, the Republicans open the door. Republicans say, step on in to the Democrats. The Democrats grab the door and slam it shut. And then they turn around to the cameras and say the Republicans won't let us in the door. That's exactly what's happening here. And then they say, well, you know what? You give me what I want before I walk through the door. And Republicans say, no. I mean, if you're not going to do anything beneficial to the American people, look, on the other side of the door is for the American people. That's where we want to go. On the other side of the door for the American people. The Democrats slammed the door. Is that a good analogy? I mean, that's exactly what it is. They slammed the door. Nope.
And they certainly do not want to address the healthcare crisis that Republicans have created.
For illegals. See, look, a lot of these people that came into the country illegally through that app, I think it was the HB1 app, all these illegals that came in on the app and they promised them free health care, and now they're finding out that their free health care is not there. They're not going to stay. See, they need them to stay. A lot of these people are going to start finding their way back home. See, President Trump, he's already doing it with the illegals in various states that have been completely hardcore criminals. And they know at some point, after they get the hardcore criminals, the worst of the worst that the Democrats brought here, they're going to start with the ones that need to go back home. I can't go to another country and just expect them to give me free health care. It doesn't work. There's no country on planet Earth that I could just walk into and they'll just give me whatever it is that I want because I'm demanding it. It doesn't happen that way. Even these European countries. Now, they're probably doing it with some of these people that come from Middle Eastern countries. But as an American citizen, there's nowhere that American citizen can go on this planet where they will just give us anything for free. But here, the Democrats are doing that very thing. And the reason why they're doing it, because they need the United States of America to collapse. That's what the ultimate goal here is. They need America to collapse. Just like the whole Summer of Love. You know, the whole Summer of Love, it wasn't about George Floyd. They just used George Floyd as the mechanism to go out there and do political violence. They just used it. And during that time, for those of you that didn't hear me say this before, during that time, they got Joe Biden. And so in their minds, they believe that political violence that happened during the Summer of Love worked to their benefit. Y'all understand what I'm telling you? They believe it worked to their benefit. This is the very reason right now you have a whole bunch of these radical leftist lunatics showing up to ICE facilities, physically attacking ICE agents. This is the reason why you see it. And all of the Democrats saying, oh, they can peacefully protest. Peacefully protest is perfectly fine. Did you know with them throwing rocks at the ICE agents and their vehicles, the Democrats are already trying to put this down as mostly peaceful. So then that way they can turn around and say most of the violence is coming from the right. They're still doing it. That's how they did it all this time. The Summer of Love, they said most of that was mostly peaceful while the city was burning on fire behind them, but it was mostly peaceful. So they put it down on paper that it was mostly peaceful. And then they said, well, here's 15,000 things, $2 billion of insurance policies that destroyed. And then they looked at something that cost $1,500 that Republicans may have done, but it's worse what the Republicans have done. Because they did that $2.1 billion of issues, the stuff they destroyed, and put it down. Well, it was mostly peaceful. So they don't have to mark it down that they're the most violent ones. That's the reason why they did that. Yeah, Denise, you know what? I did. Yep, I voted for this. I voted for what President Trump has done. I voted for what President Trump is doing. And President Trump has already said it, that he is about to send the National Guard to Chirac. He says he's about to send the National Guard to Chirac. And of course, the Demoncrats are all trying to do these lawsuits because they did it in Portland. They said they needed, because they were going to take National Guard from California and some from Texas and send them to Portland. And a liberal federal judge jumped in there and said, nope, you can't do it. You can't do it. Which doesn't make any sense, because I did not vote for one of these tyrant judges. I didn't. I voted for President Trump. I didn't vote for one of these judges. And these radical leftist lunatic liberals, they run directly to a judge to get the judge to stop our president. Every single judge that has interjected him or herself into the executive branch, they should be removed immediately. They should be removed from the bench, never ever to hold a law license again. Because they are taking the will of the people away. I voted for what President Trump is doing. I voted for this. Does my vote no longer count? This is what they're saying. We know that you voted for President Trump to remove these hardcore criminals from the United States of America, but we are here to stop him via the courts. They should be removed. Yeah, Biden was in the witness protection program 4 years ago. Yeah, you know, I agree with that, because the auto pen was doing everything for Joe Biden. And you notice the Democrats, they say nothing when it comes to that auto pen. They say nothing. Nothing. All right, everybody, that's it for me. Hey, I want to share something. You know how I'm always referring to these Democrats as Demoncrats? Well, apparently, and I didn't even know this, apparently, President Trump has referred to the Demoncrats as the party of Satan. I didn't even know that. Now, I haven't heard President Trump say it. The Democrats are saying that President Trump referred to them as the party of Satan. Now, I haven't heard it. And if President Trump actually did say it, I'm in 100% agreement. Because I noticed how demonic these Democrats were many years ago. They are the party of Satan. Now, they keep saying President Trump has called them the party of Satan. I wish they would just play the clip. I mean, give me the clip. That means with me trying to bring awareness to how evil the demonic Demoncrat party is actually coming to fruition. It's actually happening. It's the man at the top saying it. Not that President Trump needed me. Not that he needed me. But if President Trump actually said the Democrat Party is the party of Satan, if y'all seen the video clip, by all means, email it to me. Go to my website, UnitedAmericaFirst.com, and you can click on, once you get there, at the top, there's one that says Connect with Will. Click on that. Email it to me so I can put it on replay. President Trump referring to these demonic Democrats as the party of Satan, because that's exactly what they are. There's nothing under the sun that's evil that the Democrats do not support. Nothing. And the reason why I bring that up, because on my show, Culture Wars, I'm going to show you where the Democrats are saying that President Trump is calling them the party of Satan. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. So if you want to see it, set a mobile alert on your phone right now. For 1 hour from now, come to UnitedAmericaFirst.com, click on Culture Wars. It'll take you directly to my live feed. Culture Wars, 1 hour from now. You will see the Democrats complaining that President Trump is calling them the party of Satan. So do it. Put it on your phone right now, and I will see you in 1 hour. God bless. Take a snapshot. Take a snapshot.